So I'm here today with the owner of Jerkup Central, and this is a jerk hub located diamond in the rough in Scarborough. And Easton here, the owner, is going to shed some light on the background and his passion about jerk sauce and cooking in general. So how are you today, Easton?
I'm great, thank you.
Okay. All right, so let's get right into it. So what is the history behind the name Jerkup? Because it's on all your branding, your sauces. Like, what is it?
Yeah, so it was just a few friends sitting around figuring out what do we call this thing. And it actually, we start off with jerk. You don't want to say something else.
Yeah.
And then, you know, from talking, we call a friend in Atlanta, Pete, and he came up with the name Jerkup. And right away, I didn't say anything about it. I just said, that's it, that's the name. And we just took that name and registered it, and we started the process, right?
Was that a long time ago, or?
That was 3 years ago.
Okay.
3 years ago, we started. I started modeling and get the label and all that stuff.
Okay, interesting. And I noticed you don't just do sauce; you have a Jerkup dry rub as well. Like
Yeah, that came. That actually, the dry rub was born out of just beer accident. Just an accident.
Happen,
yeah,
right?
it was an accident, and it was weird. Right? It was weird how it happened, right?
But it works.
But it works, right?
Okay.
So we bring that online too, and it's been great.
Okay, so you have two flavors of sauces. You have a hot, and then you have a super hot, and then you have the dry rub.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So I know that you make everything in here, basically.
Yeah.
So like, what does your daily routine look like from start? Like, when do you start?
Well, I start at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And I figure my start is when I get up off the bed. That's when I start, right? So I start my day. At first, I make the bed. As soon as I get off it, so I do something positive right away as I get up, right? Believe it or not, right? Mm-hmm. So my day starts at 4 o'clock. I'm out of the house by 4:20. I'm at the gym at 4:45.
Okay.
I start working out pretty much at 5 o'clock. Finish the gym at 7 o'clock, and I'm here at 7:30. And I start going in from 7:30, get everything ready to serve the customer. I open the door at 12 o'clock.
That's already like an 8-hour shift.
Yeah.
Before you even open.
Before I even open.
Wow.
Yeah. It never dawned on me until one day I was sitting down and thinking, counting the hours before I opened, and I was like, wait a minute. I did a whole shift, and my days hadn't even started yet.
You're one of those entrepreneurs that could say, I work literally almost 24 hours a day.
Yeah, so
wow.
I calculate my days, my hours, and literally I'm working 18 hours a day, and I sleep for 6.
Well, at least you sleep. That's what counts.
Well, I have to get some sleep, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's a lot of background where this discipline comes from. So why don't you let us know, what is your cultural background that helps you really make this authentic sauce and keeps you regulated throughout the day?
Well, I'm Jamaican.
Okay.
Right? I come from a line of hardworking people.
Okay.
Right? My grandmother is my inspiration. Right? She always just work hard. She never really worked outside of the house, but she's always working.
Right.
So I get that my work ethics pretty much from her. You know, she
always a woman.
yeah, she's a workaholic, really. Right. So the whole idea about me doing the jerk sauce is it's just a passion that I have for cooking. I decided to answer my call after my company closed down. I decided to take up my passion. And one of the things I always say, because everything I do, I give it 100% or nothing, right? So when I was a production manager, I gave it everything I got.
Right.
And from the time I used to say to myself, driving to work, if I open my own business and give it this much energy,
it's gonna work.
It has to work. It has to work, right? So when I leave, I went with that same kind of passion and discipline and commitment to what I was doing, but now I'm doing it for myself. So I never let up. I don't believe in giving an inch.
You can't.
Right?
Not when you have something this good. So
yeah.
I mean, you got your hard work ethic from your grandmother. What about like who taught you to cook?
Well, my dad.
Okay.
My dad, I give all the credit when it comes to cooking to my dad. My dad is a great cook, right? My dad can whip up just about anything to make it taste good, right?
With jerk sauce?
Well, not with jerk sauce, but he can just do good in the kitchen. As a youngster, I used to always just watch him. Like when my dad is cooking, when other kids are playing, I'd stand up there and looking what he's doing, right? So I think cooking and food was always was my thing.
Yes, food is life.
Yeah, it was one of my things.
So that leads me to wonder, like you have catering services and you also portion out food for people that want to get, extensive, healthy eating from you. So what's that like?
So when we first opened the restaurant, right, we decided not to just go straight takeout, right?
Right.
Because we want people to experience what we're doing here. So catering was one of the way to reach a bigger audience, right? Because when someone doing a catering like a wedding, it's not just two people eating; it's
a lot,
right? A lot of people. So a lot of people get to experience that, right? And then they ask where the food come from,
right?
And then they themselves too want us to cater for them, right? So if the food is great, of course people want to use you, right?
Sure.
And especially if it's healthy for them, right? So the catering side of it is one thing that we reach a bigger audience with.
So you also do like portion food for like fitness gurus, and pretty much everybody can eat your food, right? You can kind of
so when it comes to like portion, right? Me myself, I don't believe in portion. In portion control, I don't believe in that, right? I believe in clean eating, right? That's what I believe in. That's just my belief.
So still eating whatever you like, just making sure it's clean.
Okay. And that's for me.
That's key.
I'm a guy who into fitness for 25 years. I've been working out probably 5 days a week for 25 years, right?
Wow.
And I believe in just as long as you're eating clean food and exercising,
there's a balance.
There's a balance, right? Sure. And that's how I live my life, right? I really don't do the diet and nothing like that, right? So here at Jerkup, that's what I want to offer to my customer.
So customers can buy as much as they want, pretty much, and then just feel comfortable knowing that they're eating clean throughout, so they don't have to really control the portions.
Exactly.
That's a great concept, and like where you're located as well, like you're in Scarborough, like pretty much like in the central part, hence the name Jerkup Central.
Yeah.
So why Scarborough? Why not the West End or the East End or like South or North? Why be in the middle?
I tell you, why Scarborough? To be honest, it wasn't a plan. It was a location that called me, right? I saw it available. I didn't thought that it was for me, but I came back to it, and we just decided, listen, let's just do it, right? Let's just do it right here. A lot of people ask me, the location is not that great, but here's what I believe. Location is great for any business, right? But location is not the be all and all. When you have a good product, right?
The people will come.
Yes.
They will travel.
People will always follow something good, right? If you're building a mousetrap better than your neighbor, and you build it in the woods, right? People will follow you for that mousetrap, right? So my belief, and I'm not saying for everybody else's belief, right? This is just my belief, right?
Yeah.
As long as I can provide quality for people, that's clean, they'll follow me, right? And that's my whole thing. I stand behind every jar or sauce that I do, and I stand behind everything that I cook.
But you also do delivery, right? You have Uber Eats.
Yeah, we have Uber Eats.
So you could still find people and get to them.
There you go.
So there's things that are in place to make it convenient, so they don't always have to travel to you. You can also do the catering and the takeout.
Exactly.
And getting the food to the people.
Yeah, so the response has been great. So, I mean, for Jerkup and the catering and all that, it's a growing business, right? We're growing. We don't do a lot of advertising. That's why I'm sitting here right now doing some advertising.
You want the message to get out
Yeah.
there. Because it's a great product.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think you also have some very important people that are in the community that also endorse your food.
Yeah. Endorse it, we have, and for me, it's great. We have important people in the community endorsing it, but for me, I just want the average person to understand that you can actually have Caribbean food,
right,
and don't feel like you're gonna be sick the next day,
or that it's too heavy,
or it's too heavy, or I'm gonna gain so much weight from eating this food all the time. And I'm living testimony that I eat this food pretty much 7 days a week. I will not give my customers something I would eat, right? So I don't have time to go and buy anything else to eat. I eat right here for the 15 hours that I'm here a day, right? So I eat everything I cook, and that's why I believe that what I'm doing is offering the community something better.
Okay, so with your food, since you eat it, you serve it and everything, is your sauce really in all of your meals? Like your ingredients? 'Cause, Jerkup is really a strong name to label. Is all this jerk really in all the food?
Yeah, so I get that question asked a lot of times, right? Because a lot of customers that you use this in your meal. I said yes. Every dish that I cook has it in it, and it's okay. For example, somebody asked me, "What is a jerk sauce?" I says, "You see, we got the concept confused. Jerk is a process. It's not the sauce.
Yeah.
Right? So when we understand what jerk is all about, it's a process. The sauce is just a sauce, right? The process of jerk is different.
How it's prepared.
Okay. Right? So sometimes the name jerk is just to identify that you can use the sauce for that process, right?
Because you do have quite a few meals. Like, it's not just typical jerk chicken. I noticed there's cow foot, there's salmon, there's a wide array of food.
Food, yeah.
Not just the typical,
jerk.
You have oxtail, of course.
Yeah, of course.
That's a big seller as well. So your menu is extensive, so it's really good to know, you're explaining the process is the jerk.
Yeah.
And the sauce is just the sauce.
So the sauce is just a sauce.
Because you can have the barbecue sauce, and then it's just the sauce itself.
So, exactly.
But barbecuing is a process.
Yeah.
Okay. So great. So would you consider franchising? Because it's just the one diamond in the rough, right? Expansion is, something to think about. Have you thought about franchising?
Yes and no. Because franchising is great for various reasons, right? But for Jerkup, I don't think franchising is what we're gearing for. We're not in the mass producing. Mm-hmm. We're just want a niche of what we do, and we want to specialize.
Right. You want people to just know the sources here.
Exactly.
And there's one person that's accountable for everything.
We just want to specialize in. And when you specialize in a particular thing, you become great at it, right? And I just believe that if we just get great at what we do,
right,
we'll be okay.
No, for sure. Do you have any partnerships within Jerkup? Is there other businesses associated with it, or is it really just
me?
Everything here.
There's no other business associated with Jerkup.
The me, myself, and I concept.
Me, myself, and I. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just what you see is what it is.
Okay. Well, talking about partnering and all that, have you thought about doing anything in the community for young people that may want to follow in your footsteps and want to aspire to having, for instance, a restaurant or being a chef at what you do with sauce?
What I can say to young people, right, or whoever wants to get into not just restaurant, but just get into anything that they feel they're passionate about, right? I can say it's scary, right? But that's natural, right? Any new ideas or new thing that you're gonna challenge yourself with.
No risk, no reward.
There you go, right? So it's scary in the beginning, but once you jump in, you're determined. So for young people, I say, you can always come to Jerkup, and I'm always available to ask questions, to get information, because I'm the kind of person, I'm not gonna hold information just to myself. It doesn't benefit me, right? So I'll give information, I'll tell you what I know. Right? As much as I know, I'll give the information. So I really want to see the young people really succeed in whatever they want to do.
Would you be willing to do like some apprenticeships or
Absolutely.
Getting people in the kitchen, getting that experience?
Yeah, like it's something that our community need.
Yeah.
And Jerkup is creating a platform where we want to offer that, right? For the young youths, right?
Yeah.
It's such a thing that the youth need today, right? So we want to work with the community. We want to reach out.
Yeah.
I mean, too many youngsters come here and they enjoy the food, right?
But what I like about what you do is not just to say enjoy the clean eating, but the process of, like you said, where it's grass-fed, hormone, antibiotic-free, some of the stuff I've seen.
Yeah, so what we can talk about, the grass-fed concept, right? So when we talk about clean healthier choice, so you see the poster says healthier choice, right? So the whole idea about healthier choice is that was just born with me. It's clean meat, right? A lot of times, what is clean meat, right? So for me, is we do local farmers.
Yeah.
So when you do local farmers, you get the kind of best product, right? It's not mass
You
produced.
can physically go and get it yourself.
Yes, right?
Okay.
But I don't do that. They bring it to me, right?
Wow.
Yeah, they bring it.
Express service.
Yeah. Our meat is delivered here, and we use 2 farms. We use one in Newmarket and one out in Hamilton, right? And that's where our meat and poultry comes from.
No, that's really good because it's really important for people to know where you're getting the food from.
Yeah.
And when you can say, hey, it's actually from here, it's reassuring to people for that whole Canadian identity.
Yeah, so it's all Canadian, and it's great. The chicken is amazing.
No, it's good. And so that leads me to wonder, what is your favorite dish personally? Because you make jerk pork, you make cow foot, you make oxtail, you make salmon, you make all kinds of stuff. So what is your favorite meal?
You're not going to believe it. My favorite meal, to be honest, is cow foot.
Really?
And it becomes my favorite since I opened Jerkup and started cooking it.
Really?
Yeah, because, when you're home, you're not going to cook cow foot, right? It takes too long and too much time, right? So when I start cooking it here and I start eating it, and I was like, wait a minute, this thing is great. So knowing me, I started looking up nutrition value, right? What cow foot has in it for nutrition, right?
So what does it do for you?
So it's loaded with protein.
Okay.
It's loaded with potassium, right? And it's loaded with calcium, which is good for the bone, right? And it's good for the joints that I read up about it, right? So cow foot, you can always try cow foot because it has a lot of health benefits, right?
No, that's good to know because, some people might assume it's just jerk spots and just like the jerk chicken, so I have to ask.
Yeah. But, I love all the other stuff too, right?
Because you eat everything yourself.
I eat everything here.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, who do you really want to buy your sauce and your food? Like, which market are you catering to?
Okay, good question. Good question. Which market am I catering to? I'm catering to everyone that wants to eat clean.
Right.
Who wants a cleaner spice. You can take it home and you can cook it yourself, and knowing that whatever you're eating from the jar is done in the cleanest form.
And it's on the food they buy from you.
And it's on the food they buy from you, right? So all around you're getting benefits from it, right? And it's for everybody. It's not just limited to Jamaicans only, right? I have a wide range of customer that comes in here and buy the stuff.
Pretty much everybody.
Pretty much everybody.
And your containers, I've noticed, like they're not the typical styrofoam, or they don't absorb all the grease and oil because you don't have any, first of all. Yeah. But you also have, soup, and you have some other lighter items that will really cater to people that are looking for that grass-fed or that lighter meal meal choice instead of some like heavier dishes. So yeah, it really speaks to like your whole work ethic of clean food, clean containers, like recyclable stuff.
Yeah. So on the environment tip, when we started using not go away from styrofoam, right? We started on using styrofoam for soup because I could not find
the right ones.
Right? And it was eating at me. I was actually upset because where we put the food in, it was recyclable, but the soup, I had to keep using the styrofoam. So we finally found containers for the soup that's biodegradable.
Nice.
And I don't want to ever serve food into styrofoam, right? You know, when you put hot food into styrofoam, it starts absorbing. The styrofoam actually start melting.
Well, it's one of those things where when you know better, you do better.
Yeah, exactly.
And when it's accessible.
And I'm not saying for everyone to go start using what I'm using, right? To each his own, right? But just a year at Jerkup, we don't want to be using styrofoam.
Okay, so let's talk about in the next 3 to 5 years, where do you want Jerkup to be? Still in Scarborough? Are you trying to, like, what are your aspirations actually for the business?
Well, believe it or not,
you're trying to get your sauces into restaurants and other places?
you know, we want Jerkup to become a brand, to be known for as a healthier choice.
Right.
That's what I want it to be known for, and that's why we don't bring it into certain stores, right? Nothing against the other stores, right? But we want to know it for what it is, and so for us, we want to make sure that the store that it's going to be in is properly represented by what we do, right? So it's
I'm sure you're accepting proposals.
Yeah. So what we see 5 years from now, we want to be downtown.
That's
you know,
the spot.
and that's going to be less than 5 years.
Okay.
You know, we want to be downtown, and we can reach a bigger audience, right? And you know, we take it from there. I mean, sky's the limit, right? You never put a limit on what you're doing.
No, for sure. I totally agree. And I mean, I tried the sauce. It's really good. And I think that a lot of restaurants can benefit by having your big container of sauces because you actually eliminate a lot of their labor and you just make it easier for them to have something that they can continuously use.
Yeah. So we have a restaurant that we supply 5-gallon pail.
The big one.
Yeah, the big,
many times over with this.
Yeah, exactly, right? 5-gallon, right? So the idea behind that is also educating the restaurants too, right? So we're not just selling food, we're actually teaching people a little bit about the business practice too, right? So if you're getting your sauce, quality sauce supplied to you, you also can save money, meaning that you don't have to be making your own, whatever you're making, and you can be consistent with the taste over and over and over and over. So every time your customer comes through the door, it's not today is going to taste this way, or tomorrow is going to taste that way. It's going to be all the time you come. So here at Jerkup Central, is every time you walk through the door, you don't have to worry about is it going to taste this way today or that way. So it's going to be consistent every time you walk through the door. And it's all from
starting with the jar.
Right?
Okay, well I think your message is great and I think that you have a really good product and a good brand. I'm sure there's also merchandise that's going to be coming out and you are looking for restaurants that do want to be involved with you.
Yeah.
So thank you, Easton, for speaking on the magic behind Jerkup Central. And I hope the viewers can definitely come on down, order the food, Uber Eats, and go to the website and consider catering. Consider enjoying and introducing Jerkup into your life.